If you can do that by yourself, I'm going to start getting some new hoops for around the beds.
This pot had violas growing in it, so I transplanted the violas to another pot so that I could encourage them to grow. We used to have a beautiful selection of violas in the garden up against the house, and I don't know. They used to bloom during the winter, just all kinds of stuff, and a couple of years ago something sort of failed. I'm not sure. So we're down to kind of our minimum amount. So when I saw that that was actually going to have flowers, I was like, I want to keep that. But I love violas. I just let them spread. They can do what they want. Yeah. They're cheerful little faces that smile at you when you come out every time. And they'll bloom here all summer. During the very hottest time, sometimes they quit for a little while, but the minute it cools off again, they're back at it. And if we have a warm winter, sometimes they'll bloom. I've seen things where we had patches of them in between the snow before. So that's pretty cool, to put it mildly. This one does not have this is much smaller plant, but it doesn't have nearly as much in the way of roots. So should be able to sink this one easier than some of the other ones. There we go. That's not too bad. I've known people in less dramatic climates that would just take roots and stuff from a plant in the wild and put them where they wanted them. And certainly you can do that with rose bushes. Lots of people collect roses from along the side of the highway and plant them in their yards. It's a great way to get some gorgeous and very tough plants. You know, some of the modern newer roses now are very tough and very disease resistant, but for a while there it seemed like a huge percentage of the roses were very fragile. They had been bred for, you know, colors and sometimes smells and stuff, and they didn't worry about the other stuff. And for those of us who don't want to spend our whole life using poisons and other things on your roses, it's always a delight to have stuff that just kind of does well by itself. There's a bunch of pre-bent ones over there if you want to use the pre-bent ones.
I needed to do something with these anyway, so.
Okay, that one went in actually pretty well. Yay. All right. Now, let's see if this will come off the end of here, because I don't know if it will or not.
If you'll dig the dirt back away from the fitting down there.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about these fittings. We'll see how badly they leak. I found some new ones at the store last year, but I seem to be out of them, which doesn't surprise me because we hadn't planned to use a ton of them. I still may find some.
I can get some. Is that going okay?
Well, it went in. We'll see if it leaks. That, of course, is the big ticket, whether it leaks or not. Okay, so this has this sat long enough now?
Yes.
Okay.
The glue is all set, so let me turn this valve off. Turn this valve on.
Okay.
Do you want to try that before you run it?
Yeah, we could do that. Oh, I'm not going to run it. I was just going to... Oh, you mean run it as in run it around the bed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, keep your eyes peeled.
There's only half a dozen places it could leak.
Yeah, there's only about 55 places it could leak. That Christmas tree there is quite something.
Okay, we have leaks. Go ahead and turn it off.
Stop, machine. Okay, where's it leaking? Everywhere.
The fitting that you just screwed on.
Okay.
So it's there, and it's also at the connection to the half-inch drip
Okay.
line.
That means I'll have to go get a new one.
Yep, so we know something to get.
Yeah, my concern is this stuff's been laying outside for like 2 years now. So it'll actually change size. I'll have to take a look if I have a different kind of a connector that might work with it. I may have a compression fitting that I can use. We're going to water this by hand.
Oops.
We're going to water this by hand. I did plant a couple of the new sets of roots here, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm not going to worry about all the pieces. Still have a few weeds I got to get out of here too. But it's done. And what I will do is I'll make sure these get watered well. They'll be hooked up as soon as we can get the right connectors. I may have another.
We have a hose bib 8 feet from this bed, so it's just a matter of
and I
hooking
still
up the
have
hose.
I still have some water in the tank too that I'm using. That was free water.
So there's plenty of ways for us to get
Yeah.
this irrigated if we can't get to a new fitting in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm going to see. I may have a compression fitting that works with that. I didn't have to use a compression fitting on the other beds, but those were brand new fittings. So sometimes, and one of the problems with a lot of these fittings is they're not consistent. So, yeah, that's a pain in the guess where
Best
too.
plastic made in China.
Yeah, this is Rainbird, this copper-colored stuff that we have here, and we've been very, very pleased with it.
It's worked great in the other 4 beds where it's already installed.
3.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that's only drip irrigation.
That's only we decided not to change that over because it was working okay.
So
Yes. We'll fine-tune this, and we'll report back in a day or two how we're doing. I need to trim off the dead canes from last year. I didn't touch anything on these this spring. I just watered them to make sure they stayed alive because, that's a good plan. And we'll report back as the stuff goes on. We have some very nice flowers on the blackberries now. I was looking at them again this morning because I try and go through every morning and pull weeds. And you have some blue goo on your neck, so you'll have to peel that off.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
I didn't get it on my hands, I just got it on my neck.
Yeah, right here. You have a blue stripe. Anyway.
How? It's in my whiskers.
Yes. Yeah, I figured you really enjoyed that. That's why I'm not doing that. That's the kind of thing you can do to yourself, but you shouldn't do to somebody else unless they've asked you to. So yeah, I'm really pleased with the way the blackberries and raspberries over there are already doing. And like I say, we have a whole stack of flowers on the blackberries already.
I'm happy
So-
this is done over here. Hopefully they'll survive.
Yeah, I think they will.
We'll find out.
I think they will. The basic thing was if we hadn't done what we did last year and just thrown them in the pots, they wouldn't have survived at all. So this is their second shot, and we'll see. I think they should do fine. They just need plenty of water.
There's not too much damage on the canes from moving them over.
Well, that's why we wanted to. I wanted to wrap them.
Yeah, we have a couple pieces that broke off when
Yeah,
we rolled them.
well, even on the ones over there, sometimes when I'm just cleaning things, some of the leaves will come off kind of easily. Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and I am in the garden again. I have a very angry canyon towhee yelling at me, which is what that chirping in the background is. They don't want me to be out here this morning, apparently, so that's just the way it is. Anyway, this is the bed where we transplanted raspberries the other day. As you can see, they're still alive, despite having had one heck of a storm. This a little hooked together in a couple of spots, but that's not shocking. We had some serious weather for a couple of days there. The good part of that being I didn't have to worry about watering anything because we got over half an inch of rain, which for our area is a lot. So I've been running around every day pulling weeds out of the beds because the weeds are very happy that they got some rain. And I'll need to do more around the edges here. I still need to get back in here and trim out some of the dead canes from last year. I just haven't had the time. But considering the fact that this got kind of beat up by both a storm and by us transplanting, I'm pretty pleased at this point. So last time Henry was over here, he did a quick fix on the irrigation, but the connector that we had was not working correctly. There's quite a bit of variability between companies sometimes, and even within the companies that make irrigation things, and in general they're not worried about small drips because most of their people live on a town or county water source. They're not worried about things like that, blah blah blah. Well, we do worry about that because we're on water haul. So for us, losing water is a big deal. So the last time he went to the hardware store, he picked up a new fitting. And he actually picked up a couple to make sure that he had one that we thought would work. Pretty confident that one of them that he got will work. Now the problem with this was that, see how easy that comes off? And this is an older fitting that I had. It should have worked with this. It just didn't. So what I'm going to use instead, this is just a slip fitting, and we probably could have waterproofed that by using some Teflon tape, but that just wasn't high on the list of things to do. We like to use Teflon tape as a backup, not as a primary solution. So what he was able to get was this. Now I should make sure that this fits on here first. And it does, good. But this is a compression fitting, and what this has is it has a barb here. You stick the irrigation pipe on over the barb, and the barb has a fat spot on it right there. And you have to push this on over that fat spot, which can sometimes be a lot easier said than done. Some people will use some sort of grease. I usually just spit on it, but the ideal thing would probably be to use food safe grease. We do have some. Let me see if I can get this to go. Wow. This is a slightly larger barb. This could be a challenge. Well, I can't cram it on there, so I'm going to go out to the utility building and see if I can get some of the food safe grease that we have in there, because I don't have enough. Get up and go. Apparently I didn't have Wheaties for breakfast this morning. Okay, so here's a close-up of the barb. Now the slippery gooey stuff on there now is Dawn dish soap. I have no idea what happened to the food safe grease that we're supposed to have, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be, so second choice was Dawn dish soap. So let's see if we can make it work. I also got another fitting here which has a wider base. This base here tends to cut into your hands, so let's see if we can make this work. All right, brought a paper towel just in case I get covered with dish soap. Oof. This is a toughie. It's going a little, but man, not like I'd like it to. I finally got it over the bulge, which is the critical part. If you don't get it over that bulge, then the screw part that comes down on it doesn't have anything to grab on. I like to get like a ½ an inch in there. And right now I'm up to a ¼ of an inch. But it's going. Jeez, okay. We're going to say that's enough and hope that I'm right. There we go. Now I tightened that collar down on there tightly. And then I'm removing this fitting, which is what I use to be able to push on it. Phew. That was a toughie. Now, let's get this on here. There we go. Okay. Right now, what's the temperature? Okay, my watch says it's 63 degrees. Oh, I can take ups now. My watch says it's 63 degrees in the National Forest. It's probably a little cooler than that here, but it's that temperature where you have really warm sun and it feels like you need a jacket, but then when you take a jacket out and start to do anything, you start to sweat. So what I'm going to do is lay this down. Try to be very gentle, not bash the plants around anymore. They've had enough bashing for 1 week. Okay, and I'm going to run this down here through the perennials. If the water doesn't work enough for them, I'm just going to move them. But I think it probably will work enough. Okay, start down here and place it where I want it to be. I want it to be relatively close to the main part of the plants. These were not planted in the most straight fashion the other day. I have a hammer with me because I wasn't sure if these would just go in easily or not. They are. Which is great. Generally, I have to hammer everything in around here. I just reorganized my corner of my kitchen by the back door this morning, where all the fittings go and the staples and all that sort of thing. So, okay. Let me just smush this down like this and hope that that works well enough. I like these staples with the broader tops for holding down this irrigation line. Probably have some other ones somewhere. Okay. This irrigation line's leaking on me as I pick it up because we tested it the other day to make sure the system was working and the line is still full of water. Okay, let's see. I don't feel like this is going to work correctly if I clip off this much of the corner. So I'm going to smush the plants a little bit. There we go. Hi, did you come over to help me? Excuse me, I need you to move your tushy. Beep, beep. Roof says I was going to help. Yeah, I don't think so. There's a couple of California poppies in here. I'm not going to worry about them. They can have fun being here. Okay, there we go. And we'll see how that works. Probably well enough. It puts out quite a bit of water, so the plant should be pretty happy. And I have another fitting. Once I cut that pipe, I'll put this on the other end, and it's another barb, and then it has a closure at the end. Now the nice thing about this style closure is that if you want to drain it for some reason, like at the end of the season or something like that, it's very easy to do. Or if you just need to blow it out, sometimes you can wind up with dirt in there, and it lets you flush it out. I have a pair of scissors. Scissors, scissors, scissors. Utility scissors. It's so bright out here, you cannot really see the screen on the camera very well, which is more than a little annoying. Okay. I am going to cut that there. And we'll see if I need to go get more soap suds or if this will work by itself. I think the answer is going to be soap suds. I'll be right back with soap suds. Dawn Dish Soap. Not a sponsor. Simply something slippery. There goes the raven. Okay, I've got the barb extended as far as it goes. Yeah, this is a smaller barb than the other one, so that was less dramatic, shall we say, in terms of getting it on, but still, the dish soap helped a lot. It's probably not a bad idea to use dish soap for a lot of this stuff. There we go. Okay. Now, we should now be ready to test this. The water is shut off to the bottom. Remember, this is a wicking bag, so it has the capacity to act like a flower pot with a saucer underneath. That's closed off. This is open to go this way. So I am going to see, I think the irrigation is done running. I'm going to turn it on and we'll see if anything sprays water anywhere. Not supposed to, but you know. Until you've tried it, you never know. I'm back. The regular irrigation is done running. And I'm going to try this out now. Cross your fingers. I've been murdering weeds. Made some good progress actually. But time to check the irrigation now, see how we're doing. Okay. Okay, that's open. Oh, I wonder if Henry turned the water back on. He had to turn off the water to repair something this morning. I'll go check on that. I would say that the water is still turned off. Well, here I thought I was... Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go check with Henry. Okay, I have Henry standing there. He's turned the water back on to the garden, and we're going to check it again. So let's try this for the, what, third time or something?
Looks like it's doing fine.
Yeah, I don't see any leaks. I see drips where they're supposed to drip.
Yep.
But,
it's not supposed to be drips.
but no strips where it's not supposed to be dripping. So that's awesome.
And this is working fine.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna go fix some lunch.
That sounds delicious.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. My nose is dripping.
I know, I can feel it on my lip.
Sorry. It's that spring pollen thing. Okay, so we are functional. I will program this bed into the regular irrigation cycle, and I'll watch it, but I need to mulch this. The stuff you see on top here is actually old goat manure that a friend had given us that we've been meaning to put on the beds and didn't get around to, so now we've gotten around to it, and but I still need to mulch. So other than mulching, I think we've got it together. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because obviously we're going to be doing lots more. I don't really expect these guys to do a ton this year, although I do see some beginnings of buds on them. They just kind of got a little beat up by the whole transplant process. But there's a few broken bits here that I'll gradually take off. And I need to trim some things, dead stuff mostly, from last year. But so far so good. We'll get the irrigation supplies put away, and that'll be it for a while. I've been killing lots and lots of weeds this morning. So, yeah, the weeds are doing really well. We're going to need to mow soon, because we have to make sure we don't have foxtails around the yard because of pussycats and doggies. Because we don't need foxtails and fingers and toes and paws and ears and, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, until next time, bye. Oh, and be sure to brainstorm, because obviously we are. Yep, that's it. Brainstorming. Ah.